Welcome back to Trading Hour. Well, let's now get you excerpts of our exclusive chat with the management of ABB India as they complete 75 years of operations. My colleague Vamakshi caught up with Sanjeev Sharma, MD ABB India at their Maneja campus in Vadodara and spoke about how India is becoming a manufacturing hub for the world, growing exports from India and more. Let's listen in.
We have 18 businesses in the country, and all the global managers who are responsible for those businesses, they're investing. They're investing in capacity and also in, in the product portfolio expansion and also localization of it. So that investment is ongoing and is showing up in our growth. And I think that's what our global CEO meant, that we will continue to invest and make sure India is ready for the growth. ABB India is ready for the India's growth as we forecast it. Now, when it comes to R&D, there are two types of R&D. One is the R&D which is built in the incremental product improvement at the local level. But then we have the global R&D center. We call it that global competence centers, which are here in India. We have about 3,000 technologists who are working there. And while he was visiting, he visited those. He is very clear that given the demographic as well as the talent available in India and a kind of work which is getting done on the broader base across the different R&D technologies and different product technologies. So it means that talent pool is available, and any work we want to get done for global products, more and more work will be done in India. And when it gets done in India, naturally there is a direct benefit to us because we are also have access to those technologies.
Well, absolutely. And you mentioned about localization, right? So currently, is the localization level somewhere around 85%, if I'm not wrong?
Yes, it is. And some products are 100% localized.
Okay.
And some of them are 80%, 90%. Some of them are 60%, especially in the area wherein the local supply chains are not set up. Like, for example, power electronics is one area wherein we don't have the power electronics equipment or the global manufacturers. We hope with the PLI schemes and various incentives made, these critical components are also manufactured in India and they become part of our local supply chain.
So 85%, can it become 95%?
We believe so. I think that's our intention. But at the same time, we need our global partners to also come here and set up their manufacturing base so the supply chains are much, much closer to us. But that's our intention because we have a very clear strategy at a global level, local for local, which we have learned out of our COVID period, wherein if the supply disruption takes place, yes, it can be a little bit of an issue to serve the customers, though we managed it all right, but that's a threat. And also in the geopolitics scheme of things,
Absolutely.
More reliant you are in the market where you want to be present long term, local for local is our strategy.
So when you localize, does it also have a bearing on your royalty spends that you pay to the company? Does that come down?
Well, typically with the volume and as the technology gets normalized, it does. But at the same time, you also have to spend when you're bringing new technologies.
Absolutely.
Because the same equivalent technologies, if you have to develop grounds up, it costs much, much more money. And we are in an advantageous position that we can go to a global center and a global expertise center and take this help and get this localization done much, much faster.
Correct. You spoke also about local for local, right? Just a short while ago. So that is a strategy that ABB follows globally. But my question to you is, can India be an exception? Because everyone is talking about India as a manufacturing hub. Of course, there's policy support. There's also the labor arbitrage that comes into picture. So I'd just like to understand from you, how would the exports look like? So would exports be a meaningful part of the revenue? It's somewhere around 10%. Can it be 25, 30%?
So exports are growing meaningfully at 15 to 20% rate, but percentage-wise, they are about 10 to 12% for the simple reason India is growing much faster. So Indian market is growing much faster, and my prime focus is to develop Indian market and also develop these operations to world-class level, and they are. So what happens is business by business, the global leaders are recognizing the power of manufacturing in India, and they are allocating more and more markets to our Indian colleagues who are running the businesses. And we find that it's in early stage and it will continue to grow over a period of time.
Absolutely. And is there a split that you have in terms of exports? The exports that come in from the parent company as well as some other ABB entities, and some exports that you win directly. How are both of them trending, and what are the kind of markets that you can directly target?
So global markets are in the hands of our global division managers.
Absolutely.
So they are the ones who decide which production plant to use to bridge those markets with supplies. So increasingly they are using ABB in India, and other plants also we have globally. That will continue to be the case, but then definitely there's a positive bias for Indian manufacturing, because we don't not only have the labor arbitrage. My focus together with my colleagues is productivity arbitrage as well. So we don't not only have to make use of the labor arbitrage as it exists, but it goes away after some time. But it is our ability to create more productivity arbitrage using new technologies, new methods which are not used anywhere else in the world, to make sure that we are able to take benefit of it and also able to serve the markets from here.
Well, a very interesting conversation there with the management of ABB by our colleague Vamakshi.